Good evening. This is CTV News for Friday, April 11th. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger. Glad to have you with us tonight. An 18-year-old from Temple Hills gets 50 years behind bars for gunning down a friendly high school student. Authorities believe the crime was part of an ongoing gang rivalry. Akil Ings killed the victim, Marcus Jones, after a birthday party last year. Denise Douglas has the latest from the courthouse.
It is going to be a long time behind bars for Akil Ings. He was sentenced to 50 years in prison here at the Prince George's County Courthouse in Upper Marlboro. Let me kind of give you some background as to what led up to this. In 2013, he and some friends were hanging out outside of a birthday party in Fort Washington. Ings got into some sort of an argument with Marcus Jones, a friendly high school student, and shot him, according to prosecutors. They also say that both of them were part of rival gangs. One of the prosecutors reacted to today's sentencing and talked about the overall message that it sends to the community and specifically to those involved in gangs.
From all indications, both the victim, Marcus Jones, as well as the defendant were members of gangs or crews of young men. And it appears that that did have something to do with the defendant's desire to shoot Marcus Jones. Certainly, again, we will not tolerate gangs in the community or criminal activity related to gangs, it's just unfortunate that these gangs came out of our high schools.
Ings did not express any remorse during today's sentencing. His mother, who was also present during the trial, was there to support him. I'm Denise Douglas in Upper Marlboro, CTV News.
Thank you, Denise. Well, the trial of a man charged in a quadruple shooting is in its third day. The girlfriend of the defendant, Darrell Bellard, took the witness stand today. 22-year-old Takesha Gilmer talked about how the two met when she was still a teen and how she had a child with him. Then in August 2010, she and Bellard brought 60 pounds of marijuana to Maryland from Texas and stored the drugs at Dawn Brooks's house in Lanham. Someone stole the drugs from the residence, and Gilmer says Bellard believed he had been set up. That's when he allegedly shot Brooks, her two children, and another woman. Gilmer admits that he helped Bellard commit the crime. Gilmer has pleaded guilty to 4 counts of murder as part of an agreement with prosecutors. In exchange for her testimony, she faces 40 years to life in prison.
The store in Columbia Mall where 19-year-old Darian Aguilar fatally shot 2 employees before turning the gun on himself will reopen next month. The Zumi store says it made the decision to open its doors again after consulting with the families of the victims. Last month, Howard County Police revealed that Aguilar was fascinated with the Columbine shooting, timing his attack to the exact minute the school tragedy began. Zumi's hasn't set an exact date for the reopening, but the company says it will be sometime in mid to late May.
U.S. Senator Ben Cardin has introduced legislation aimed at restoring voting rights for ex-offenders. It's called the Democracy Restoration Act. Cardin says nearly 6 million Americans are prohibited from voting because of a felony conviction. And in 11 states, a conviction can mean a lifetime ban on voting. Cardin says his bill is good for democracy. He points to studies that indicate restoration of voting rights would reduce recidivism rates and help ex-offenders reintegrate back into society. The measure has the support of the ACLU and the NAACP. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Byron Scott.
And I'm Rochelle Metzger.